Home. Home is where we grow, where we forge bonds, where we come together. Our nation's most famous home, the White House, is a location that is rich with stories and history, a home that belongs to all Americans. Now, almost 250 years after its construction began, with the help of our philanthropic supporters across the United States, we are opening the doors of the White House in a new and innovative way, making its history, stories, and people more accessible than ever before. Welcome to 1700 Pennsylvania Avenue, the People's House, a White House experience.
1700 Pennsylvania Avenue will be uniquely positioned to help reinforce core elements of an engaged constituency and the tenets of civic responsibility, and will play a key role in the understanding of our government and our history by both educators and students. It will explore evolving discussions around historic interpretations and narratives and examine our country's rich and complex history.
When you come into the People's House, a White House experience, you're going to feel like you're in the White House. You're going to feel what it's like to sit at a cabinet table and meet with the president, what it's like to be in the Oval Office with the president, to sit at a state dinner with heads of state and understand the critical importance of social diplomacy.
This space will serve as home to a state-of-the-art immersive experience, expanding the depth and reach of our content, fully leveraging our rigorous research and educational programs, and creating an educational institution that continues our vigilant acquisition and preservation work. Scholars, educators, students, and visitors can interact with our nation in a way that resonates with them individually and sparks enthusiasm about U.S. history and democratic values.
The terrific thing about the project to me is that it literally will make the White House come alive for people who are visiting Washington, D.C., who will not have the opportunity to actually tour the White House.
Now is the time to actually invest in this project because the new technology put the experience of the White House at a completely different level.
For the first time, we're actually going to be able to bring individuals into a location where they can virtually, digitally experience the White House in every room and every situation. Now, if you can imagine walking into a room and all of a sudden looking around and that room transforms into the blue room or the red room, the West Wing, you get to see all imaginable activities going on at the White House.
We will engage and immerse guests differently than ever before. Authentic historical narrative and precise imagery will make the White House tangible and real for guests who will experience iconic spaces normally accessible to very few. Our responsibility to care for the Executive Mansion and illuminate its history and functions in a nonpartisan way creates the potential to unite communities across the nation. The White House experience will provide a shared perspective, absent of politics, focused upon education to inform our present and our future.
It's important for every individual to feel connected to who they are as a U.S. citizen. This is a time that we can bring people together, really show who we are as a unifying nation, and experience the People's House.
This is a good investment. It'll have a good return to all of us in terms of preservation of our democracy.
Never the same visit twice, the People's House will be supported by an endowment to ensure content and technology are continually refreshed, permitting guests to enjoy a renewed experience with every visit. The ground floor of 1700 Pennsylvania will highlight the design, fine and decorative arts, and iconic spaces of the White House. Guests can experience each room of the state floor and spaces that are not included in public tours. They can interact with 4 floors of the White House and holographic figures carrying out their work in the People's House model of the Executive Mansion. Visitors will be invited to interact with history in the immersive theater, an exhibit that can change at a moment's notice to reflect a different room or highlight a different artifact to help tell the stories of our nation. From the White House model through the colonnade and the Rose Garden, guests experience the president's 45-second commute to the Oval Office and experience how it feels to sit at the resolute desk. The second floor will celebrate the functions of the White House: a home, the president's place of work, a global stage, and the individuals who live and work there. Exhibits will allow guests to interact with portraits, objects, cabinet meetings, and state dinners to learn about different moments in our nation's history from the people and objects that defined them. The third floor will be the launch pad for the association's educational mission, welcoming scholars and teachers, young students and adult learners, a conference space for collaboration, lectures, and events, a recording studio to extend the association's scholarship across the globe, and workspace for those who will bring the White House experience to life. Together, they will foster growth and keep the People's House fresh for each visitor and future generations.
In 1961, when her husband became President of the United States, Mrs. Kennedy gave the clarion call of what needed to be saved and preserved and restored in the White House. Now, as we are in 2023 and 2024, that responsibility is ours, which is the reason we need your support. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to make this 1700 Pennsylvania Avenue, just one block from the White House, a reality. So please join us.